The arrogance of man is thinking nature is in our control, and not the other way around.
That's it, man. Game over, man. Game over.
Please, you can kill it.
Nobody trusts anybody now.
Come on, you hate. You want to live forever?
I got a bad feeling about this.
Godzilla will live.
And welcome back to episode 109 of the Monster Movie Stompdown. Of course, you got your host Sludge here, co-host across from me,
It's the Lorax.
and the master from Texas, Grandmaster from
Ruben.
Texas.
Ruben.
I got to get used to that, man. I mean, I know the baby's not here yet, but he's
Yeah.
the Grandmaster of
Yes.
Texas.
Yeah, that's right.
Um,
Well, heck, we talk about her so much, she might as well be here. We're all anxious. We're very anxious to meet her.
Oh man, I can't wait to see pictures. I don't want delivery pictures. I want the afterwards.
Yeah.
Can't wait. So super stoked for that. But episode 109, and we are trucking through our Gamera Showa era. And of course, the last episode we did for Gamera was Gamera versus Gauss, which we talked about being the last of the good films.
I was going to say, it really slowed down on this one. Really slowed down.
Yeah, things are taking a drastic turn here for the next 4 films. 4 films if we do Gamera Super Monster, which we may or may not. I'm not sure. But we wanted to do these, of course, because we got the new Gamera Rebirth anime coming out.
Yes.
And we hadn't hit these yet, so we wanted to go through them. And this one's going to be an interesting episode. But on a high note, to get things started, Mark, I can't believe I'm doing this. I really can't.
Yes, here it comes.
But something happened over the weekend, and you wanted to address it on the show.
I'm sorry, what was that? I can't remember. Can you kind of let me know a little bit about that? Bring that up.
Well, we were talking about a figure you bought, and you bought more than one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
What happened there? What was it you was wanting to
No,
explain?
I want you to elaborate to me. I was nice enough, so nice, to buy this figurine, and I presented it to you.
You did?
I even gave it to you. Don't even have it here. That's it. See, I figured out.
No,
I
wait a
figured
minute.
out
It's-
exactly
it's-
what was going on there.
No, it's on the shelf. Okay, it's already on the collection shelf.
Oh yeah.
you
it's on
watched
the
me put
collection.
it there.
Oh, you're right. And then what was you going to do to me for me?
I was going to give you a figure.
A figure. What was that? What kind of figure was that? Please tell me what kind of figure that was that.
It was a Godzilla 98 figure.
Oh, the one that you own. You own the Godzilla.
Well, I
98
mean,
figure.
it's in the
No,
collection.
no.
You talk
It's
about
in
it
the-
so much, I figured
Do
it was,
you or do
wanted
you
it.
do you or do you not own the Godzilla? I'm not. No, the Zilla 98 figure.
Yes, we've
Okay.
It is. It stands about. Answer that. Let's let the viewers see what's going on. Look at this. Interrupted.
Here we go.
Interrupted here.
Hello, you're right in the middle of the podcast. We're done showing you on the TV screen.
Hi, Kayla. Hi, Kayla.
Hello.
She's being very quiet,
Ruben says hi.
and Ruben says hi. It says your phone came up. Your name came up on my phone, and so we had to show it on the screen who was calling me.
If this keeps happening, we're gonna have to. I think it's only right we give her a nickname. And we've got the Lorax. We've got the Grandmaster.
What
You
kind
know,
of? Did you have a nickname? Some kind of nickname growing up?
I mean, Joe Bob's got
Yeah.
the male girl. Maybe Kayla can be the male girl,
Are you going to be? We're going to have you as the male girl.
just like Joe Bob Riggs.
Yeah, like emails and. Oh, now I got to sleep on the couch. So,
It's
wait, no, sleep on Chase's couch. So,
my couch. Well, I mean, it's comfortable, but you'll probably have to sleep next to Bella. She'll probably be out there with you.
I will give you a call back just as soon as we're done. All right. Oh my God.
So, anyways,
Oh,
now that the male girl is called,
That's a real podcast show we got going on.
there we go.
it is.
We're taking
There we
phone
go.
calls from our listeners. and everything. So
Hey, Kayla comes on, man, and she'll like the post and stuff in the group and stuff.
Yeah.
So thanks, Kayla, for calling in and hiring yourself as the new mail girl for the Month Movie Stompdown. But yes, I was going to give you a Godzilla 98 figure, and there is one in my collection, and let it be known, this thing's like an inch tall because it came again in the box of Trendmaster figures I bought, so it wasn't by choice. It just came in there, okay?
Yeah.
But I know as much as you bring up Godzilla 98, I figured, you know what? You went out of your way, and you didn't even go out of your way, actually. Hold up, time out.
Jeez.
Okay, let me explain something here. So I find out, Mark's going on this whole thing about, like, he got me this Dragon Ball Z figure of Broly, and brought it to me, and I was like, yeah, I'll give you the 98 figure, because I know he talks about it so much. I found it on the porch. He didn't buy it for me. It just accidentally happened to be in the box.
No, we hit
Ordered
two.
one,
But we hit
two
two.
came.
No. We hit two. So there's no.
No, you told me. I don't know
we
how the second one came
knew,
up.
and we knew that two of them were coming, and we could have canceled the one, but I said no. Chase would love this. The Sludge has to have this.
I mean, I see that. There you go.
I think I got the mail girl's number. We might have to find out the truth on this one. Here, we'll do that for another day. But so, anyways, yes. So I was going to give him the 98 figure, and he felt that was unkind.
And now that that you're bringing up the fact that you do own that, and then that
I've always brought it up.
I
haven't brought it up.
No,
I've stated that I have it.
Yeah,
I've stated that I own it. I've not brought it up.
And let's not forget, he did own another bigger G98 figure, but he turned it for a profit, but he still owned it.
Exactly. And
that was fantastic because you're the one who got it for me. That I for like $1 and I sold it for like $120.
But he did own it. So now we know of 3 pieces of paraphernalia that's collectible
dude,
items.
If I can make $100 off a turd, I'm totally going to make $100 off a turd.
Plus the magazine.
That was
now,
not
he did
your
have
intention.
the magazine too.
Yeah.
Yeah, the magazine's how this all started out.
Oh my gosh, yes, the magazine. I forgot about that.
So
for $2.
So for somebody that don't want nothing to do with this,
yeah, he sure does have
we've got the magazine.
Sure does have a lot to do with it.
Okay, yeah, all this stuff is coming true right now. And by the way, that 120 you made off of that?
Yeah.
Did you offer me anything?
No, you're the one who gave it back to me. Like you remember, like
I got this. I got this. I got this extra. I got this extra Broly. No, we're not canceling that. I want to give it to my son. I want to make sure. But
hey, dude, I did the same thing. I was like, hey, I'm gonna give this to my dad. And then what does my father do? He gave it right back. So I'm like, fine, dude, you don't want it. I'm gonna make you some money off of this thing.
Yeah, I know that's what went through your mind the moment you saw me giving it back to you.
Actually, no, it wasn't. I just happened to come across it off of eBay looking for Godzilla stuff. It popped up, and I saw one for like $200. I was like, there's no freaking way this little crappy Zilla figure goes for $200. And I come to find out the reason why it sold for so much, it was a Carl's Hardee's Happy Meal toy. And that was the last Happy Meal that they did before they stopped doing Happy Meals. That's why it's so expensive. Is because it was it. That was the end. There was no more Happy Meals after the Godzilla figures because Godzilla 98 ruined everything for everybody's life, including Hardee's. So that's why it was so expensive. So
okay.
Anyways,
that makes a whole lot of sense that you would go in and to investigate that hard on something that you hate.
I know that.
much.
I had to know why. Like, I'm not gonna lie.
Exactly.
I had to know why. Like, why is this turd so expensive? I don't get it. I didn't. I had to know, man. It was gonna nag at me. Like, I could just like the dude this weekend. Like, and I already proved him wrong. So this weekend, you all saw the post on the social media sites where I finally got to go hunting again, and I haven't got to do it in a very long time. Got some really cool stuff picked up some great Trendmaster figures to add to the collection. Dragon's Sword, blah, blah, blah. Y'all saw it. The guy I got the Trendmasters figures from, he had a set of the Bandai mini figures. Okay, they came in a set. Most of them come in a set. And then, they're little, what were they, like 1.5 inches tall. And, he had Destroya, he had Mothra, he had, Gigan, a couple others. But the Mothra I wanted. And so I'm like, hey, would you sell me that Mothra? And he's like, yeah, $20. And I'm like, no, I ain't paying $20 for that because I get it up for like $5 off eBay. But he goes, but I'll make you a sweet deal on the Mania figure. And I said, and I just couldn't help myself. I was like, how much do you want for the fat little retard? And he just looked at me like, what? And I was like, I hate him. How much do you want for him? And he's like, $75. I'm like, you're kidding me. And he's like, oh, man, it's what I see him go for. I'm like, nah, I'll pass. I was like, I appreciate it, but No, I'm not paying that much for the fat little silver retard. He's like, you really hate him, and so I had to go on a rant on how much and why I hate him. But so I go to look, I get home, and I'm like, how did that thing go for $75? That bugs me. I'm like, there's no way someone's gonna pay $75 for a little 1.5 inch figure of the fat little retard Minya. So I go to look on eBay for it. I find it, and the figure in the set, like not by itself, the set, Destroya, Mothra, Gigan, all of them. Okay, you know how much the set was going for?
How much?
No bids, less than a day left on it, $15.
And he's going to sell it to
and
you
he was
for
going to try something $75. Nope, don't. Anyway, so it's all right. I talked him down in this Trendmasters, so like all that stuff I got spent. Ruben says it all the time. I get really lucky when it comes to these finds.
You do. You get so lucky with that.
And the Mega King Ghidorah, it varies, man. The Mega King Ghidorah Trendmasters figure, the one that I got, ranges anywhere from normally $35 all the way up to $200, depending on the condition. That's the most expensive I've seen that for. It doesn't go that high often. But so, I mean, you're looking at $35, $50 on the normal in a rough condition. This thing's pretty dang immaculate. There's no scrapes. There's no scratches. It is in really good shape. It's got a little bit of the contour wing issue going on, but that figure was known for that. You can't find one with straight wings. It's just not going to happen. It didn't happen when you bought it new. So I got it, and I got the King Ghidorah, the regular one, also immaculate condition. And then I got the Godzilla that had the little red button push that roars.
Yeah.
I got all of them for $40, all three of them. And I was like, so pretty much the price of one, I got three of them for, so I was pretty stoked about it. But
I know you'll be going back for that Minya.
I'm not going back for that little.
You'll be going back.
Not for no freaking $75. That is ridiculous. Like if. Oh, I know. That's right. I told him. I was like, he's like, I'll take 75. I'm asking 75 for it. I told him, I said, I got 3 $1 bills. and that's he looked a little offended at that point. I'm like, but that's the most you'd get out of me for that. So anyway, so before we jump into Gamera versus Viras, which is the next Gamera film we're doing, it's first of the month, man, and that means it's time for hard copy.
Now, copy this.
All right, so this month's hard copy is actually going to be a future episode next month, August, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And it's going to be a long title on this one. So this is Mega Monster Battle Ultra Galaxy. So Mega Monster Battle, let me state ahead of time, is a side series to Ultraman. Okay, it's a spin-off series that Super Eye Production does. It's a great freaking show. Great show. A lot of monsters. Gamora is like one of the main monsters. He's a classic Ultraman. He's now a hero with this guy named Ray, who's like part human, part alien, and so he has the ability to control monsters, and he fights monsters across the universe with Gamora. He's able to control him. So it's pretty cool. It's really cool show. But anyways, this is the introduction of Ultraman Zero, who has now become one of the most popular Ultraman in Ultraman history. He's the son of Ultra 7, and this was his first appearance in this movie, which is absolutely freaking fantastic. This movie, I don't like shelling out the money I shelled for this normally, because you can't find this Blu-ray for under $50, but I willingly drop $50 for this thing. Like, it is so freaking good. And it's hard to get, anywhere else, anywhere over here. Actually, no, I take it back. They just released it. Who was it that was doing all the Ultraman? Mill Creek? Ruben, is it Mill Creek that's doing all the Ultraman
Mill
movies?
Creek, yes, sir.
Doing it? Okay, so Mill Creek's, they've done the Ultraman Orb, Ultraman Geed, Ultraman X, all the new ones you can find at Walmart and stuff. They did just actually release a pack of Ultraman for Ultraman Zero, and this is included in the pack, which was pretty cool. But this one, of course, is a big Blu-ray that's got tons of special features on it for this movie, behind the scenes. There's one of the special features was actually from the Ultraman Festival and Ultraman Day, where they premiered Zero for the first time there as well. But it was super cool, amazing, high-quality transfer on this Blu-ray. It comes with a pretty cool little booklet, man. They kind of revamped Ultraman when Zero came out. And this booklet actually comes with some pretty cool information, like introduction and story, the different points of the movie, but then it folds again, and then it actually has a section that shows all the different Ultra characters that are in this, and some of the monsters. You've got, of course, it's packed. You got Ultraman, Ultra 7, Dyna, Membius, Jack, Ace, Leo, Taro, Ultraman King, Ultra Father, Ultra Mother, Astra, Ultraman 80, Ultraman Ego. Quite literally, every Ultraman's in this, including the American ones, Ultraman Great and Ultraman Powered. They make brief appearances because you actually, for the first time in Ultraman history, go to the Land of the Light, so to their planet. And it was the biggest thing about this was the first the first big movie that Subaraya or even Toho has done that was so computer graphic heavy that they even have an entire section in the booklet about the computer graphics that they used in this movie. Top-notch freaking movie, man. Action-packed like none other. There's some of the most amazing scenes in Ultraman history is in this. And the Blu-ray's freaking sweet, man. Like, transfers top-notch. Special features are packed with this thing. It's really, really good. And we will be reviewing this next month. Gavin, my youngest son, 9 years old, has been begging for months and months to come do an episode with us. And we've decided we're going to let him come on and do an episode. And he is an Ultraman fanatic. So we're going to be, and we let him pick, and he picked this. This is his favorite Ultraman movie. For his, what was it, his 6th birthday? We went to the theaters?
Yes.
For his 6th birthday, we rented out a movie theater and actually played this in the theater for him, and so he got to watch this on the big screen, which was really, really cool. So
I'm curious. I never asked you when you did that. How did all his friends react? Are they Ultraman fans too, or were they?
They had fun, but they're not really Ultraman fans.
Yeah. I was wondering. Yeah, it's kind of like, man, Ultraman is cool. I'm like, but I'm wondering how as you said one time, the normal people would react.
How
the normal people see that.
Like his older brother Colton, Colton likes the English versions, the ones that are in, because he hates having to read the subtitles. But Gavin's like me, man. Gavin's been reading, like he learned to read because of subtitles. He watches so many things, and especially Ultraman, subtitle that now he watches. Like we're in the middle of watching, the next episode that you guys get to see from us is about Kamen Rider Black Sun. It's in Japanese with subtitles. He's following right along. Like he's reading the whole thing, and he's like, "Well, what do they mean by that, Dad? What do they mean by this?" Because he reads it all, so he's used to it. But his friends not so much. And but they had a good time, which was cool. So, but
I mean, it's action, and there's all kinds of stuff going on. I can't imagine they didn't enjoy it. I just wonder.
Oh yeah, there's tons of action in it. And dude, the moment Zero shows up, it's like one of those moments where, oh man, it's like that final battle. It's like Rambo. Okay, like Rambo 2. Like he's tied to the bed in Rambo 2, right? And he breaks free and he gets on that intercom and it calls Murdoch and he's like, "I'm coming for you." And at that point, your adrenaline is pumping. You're
oh yeah,
crap's about to hit the fan. That's what happens when Zero shows up. Like the main bad guy is the first true evil actual Ultraman. He is kicking everybody's freaking rear end. I won't spoil anything for the next episode. He kills one of the Ultra Brothers. Like he's just and he controls 1,000 monster army or 100 monster army, and they're wiping everybody out. Like Ultraman, Seven, Jack, Dinah, Mebius, like they're getting their butts freaking creamed, and Zero shows up, and it's just like, Murdoch, I'm coming for you. I'm like, dude, man, he just wipes the floor, dude. It's awesome. It's so good. So yeah, the kids enjoyed the action-packed scenes of it because it's definitely that. So, but we'll jump into that one in the next episode. Real quick before we move into the trailer for Gamera versus Viras, I know we've got a little long here at the beginning. Ruben, you've got something really cool to show us. You showed us before the show.
Yes, I do. I did some hunting myself in the last couple of weeks, and the first one is this right here. Is Cornelius, this is a pin, if you can see back here, that video store employees would wear when they came out with the DVDs back in the day in '98. I think it's when they came out with they came out with the DVDs. So they gave these out to the employees to wear, and I snagged this pretty cheap. Another thing I found, which is going to be hard to show on the screen, is one of these little mini TVs that I'm about to turn on, and y'all can hear what it's about. There it is. Let's see. Hopefully it'll come on. Come on. Can y'all hear that okay?
Oh yeah, that's good.
If someone does not know what that was, then there's something wrong with them.
Yeah.
And it's got different scenes. It comes with a little remote control that you can change the channel on.
That is great. I love that.
Yeah. It's got like 12 different scenes. It's got a bunch of scenes. It was pretty cool. And let me turn this off because as a kid, would be coming home from school and this was on TV. You know, you got home about 3:30, 4 o'clock, and this came on. I remember at 4 o'clock, and I just loved it. So I snagged that. And then the last thing that I picked up is a pop of Reagan from The Exorcist.
That's awesome.
Complete with vomit and everything.
Oh my God.
That's great.
So, yeah, I picked up all that thing. I did a little bit of hunting this last couple of weeks since the last show.
Man, the hunting is a lot of fun. Like it just.
Yeah, I love it. You know, I love doing that. Now my Father's Day gift is still in San Antonio, but he got it at a Comic-Con. I don't know. I didn't post it on the social media, but RJ got to meet Elizabeth Olsen, and he got to meet Garfield, Spider-Man.
Which that's pretty sweet.
It was like it was a car show / autograph type show. He almost met Amelia Clark, but he had to work. So and she was on Friday, so he couldn't meet her, but he got to meet Olsen and Garfield from am I saying that, man? Why doesn't that
Garfield.
sound right? Garfield. I don't know
Andrew
why
Garfield.
that doesn't sound right. Andrew Garfield. I said, why don't I think I'm talking about the cat? But so he had a good time. He said he picked me up something for Father's Day. I'm anxious to see what it is because that was a pretty neat little show.
So you have no idea. That's going to be.
I have no
pretty sweet.
idea.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's
and
gonna be
his
awesome.
birthday's coming up. He's coming down. He's coming down for his birthday. So we'll give it to
Just don't offer him a Zilla 98 figure.
Oh, whatever.
Okay.
We're not
Yeah.
even going to go there.
Just
We've already went there.
Just
Now,
let
look,
that go. So.
to be fair, and I think I've mentioned it before, but I'll mention it again. When RJ was little, he has Godzilla 98 figures. They're boxed up somewhere, but he's got more than one. And when I start cleaning all that stuff out of upstairs, I'm gonna go through it all and share it because he had at least 6 or 7 figures.
Oh,
he
wow.
played with when he was
More
a kid.
than I've
Yeah, he had a
ever
bunch.
owned. Ever.
Yeah, I mean, he
Okay.
had quite a bit.
Yeah.
I think he had the little baby ones, and he had, of course, he was. I chalked that up to, he was a young kid. Godzilla 98 came out in 98. He was born in 98, so he was just look at that. Is that a beer? That's a beer.
Yeah,
Not
what
beer.
just happened?
That's
Yeah,
not beer.
yeah.
So, okay, let me explain. So I forgot my drink upstairs, and my loving wife brought it down to me. No, this is not beer. This is water. But this is a pretty sweet custom tumbler.
Oh, look at that. Yeah.
It's got Godzilla 1995 on there, Godzilla Destroyer, and Godzilla versus Mothra 92. That's some friends of mine had made for me. It's a pretty.
There's probably
pretty
on the
sweet
bottom. If you look at the bottom, there's probably a Mila's on the bottom there. Is that on the
There,
bottom?
you
You
can
see
see-
that?
Yeah.
Well, it is.
on the
It is
bottom,
pure
yeah.
silver. No, it's white. Never mind. So no,
It's white.
no,
Okay.
no meaning on that of any kind.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, it was neat. I was like, man, that's part. So, anyways, all right, man. So let's jump
with
into
you.
it. What's that, Ruben?
No, I'll say let's get started on this movie because I got quite a bit of something to say about it.
Well, I think we all do. So here we go. Here's the trailer for Gamera versus Viras.
From the depths of space came the most terrifying threat ever known. A civilization whose only object was to destroy all planets. Spreading death and destruction throughout the galaxy. Monsters from the unknown, unleashing a reign of terror in the universe. Destroy all planets. In the path of this onslaught, Earth. An entire civilization stood on the brink of destruction as the invaders from the stars thundered toward the Earth. A world stood breathless as the men of space stood poised to strike. Was there any way of turning aside the disaster that awaited the Earth? See this thrilling new adventure as the Earth fights its climactic battle for survival against overwhelming odds. Destroy all planets.
All right, so that was the trailer for Gamera versus Squidward that we are fixing to watch.
That was a nice trammer. That was a nice trammer.
That was that
we
was
enjoyed
one of the better
trammer.
trammers that I've ever seen. I don't know what is that's how this movie's going to go. So, all right. So, sequel to Gamera versus Gauss. This movie came out in March 20th, 1968. Directed again by Noriaki Yuasa, who we've talked about. He did the he's worked on every film. He was the director of the first one. He was moved to special effects director for Gamera vs. Bruggen. Then he went to double director, director of special effects for Gamera vs. Gauss, and he's going to be the director from here on out for the rest of the movies. And with the success of Gamera vs. Gauss, they're like, Noriaka, you got to bring another one, Noriaka, and so he did. And they just won, but they were dealing with Daiei had some major financial issues on this one, and so this budget was cut like in half from the last one. It was like 20 million yen, which is roughly like $56,000 American at the time. So I mean, a low budget.
Is that why they call it zero budget?
Did you say
is that where zero
$56?
budget comes in?
Yeah,
is that is?
that's why we're the zero budget. No, 56,000, and when you watch it, you're like, it seems more like 5,600. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they even had to, with this one, like get funding from someone else. So they actually made an agreement with American International Television. So we know AIP. I mean, we're very familiar with them. Back in the 60s and 70s with all the Godzilla movies and War of the Gargantuas and things like that they brought over. American International Television bought the rights for Gamera and then the following films. So there was no theatrical release here in America. It was straight to TV, and it was actually renamed to Destroy All Planets. For whatever reason, instead of Gamera for Viras, but
Destroy all planets.
Yeah, like whatever, But in Japan it came out on March 20th, 1968. It was actually on a double bill with Yokai Monsters, 100 Monsters. Now the Yokai Monsters, Pete's very familiar with those films. Those are fantastic movies that Daiei did. You got you got 100 Monsters, you got Spook Warfare, and Pete, We're Gonna Kill Me. I cannot remember the third one. But it's a trilogy of Yokai. They've done more past that, but it was like the original trilogy of Yokai Monsters. So you went to theaters as a Japanese in Japan at the time. You're like, I don't know what played first, Gamera vs. Viras or Yokai Monsters. All I know is if Yokai Monsters played first, I was out after that point. If I had to sit through this movie to get to Yokai Monsters, I was a very unhappy ticket buyer. That's one for sure. So. Noriaki's back with this one. A lot of the same crew. Actually, Kojiro Hongo is back in this. He was in Gamera vs. Bruggen, and so he makes a couple appearances throughout the series. He plays the scout leader in this movie because you've got these two kids. I can't remember their names because at this point there's so many kids you just don't care. Actually, I thought it was hilarious. They're Brandon's Cult Reviews as a YouTube movie reviewer. He goes on and calls them kiddies or kinnies because Kenny was a kid in the last film. He's like, they're all the same. So it's the kinnies because you got two kids, an American kid, Japanese kid. He just calls them kinnies. So you got the two kinnies in this movie, and the very beginning of the movie, like they're with the scouts, and instead of being with the group like they're supposed to, this scientist comes over and talks to them about this submersible, this submarine that they made that they're going to take the kids and trips on because it's a small 2-man submersible. It can go a little ways down. It'll be really cool and fun. While they're explaining it, the Kinnies are in the sub, and they're rewiring the sub to reverse all the controls. So it's like they're already troublemakers from the get-go. And this is the best part of the movie, just so everyone knows. And so, while this is going on, eventually these aliens, the Virasians, come to Earth. We actually start out seeing them. They're coming to Earth, and they're like, we're going to take over this planet because we need the nitrogen, and they're flying in their Zakk Wylde-colored, balls spaceship. Anyone has seen Zakk Wylde's guitar, and you see the balls in this spaceship, you'll understand what I'm talking about. So, you've got, the Viras and Zakk Wylde's balls flying to Earth, and Gamera shows up out of nowhere in space. And they're like, what's going on? And he destroys them. And they're like, and it was kind of cool because they're like, they're calling back to their home planet, and they're like, "Oh man, Earth has got a dangerous defender, a monster of superpower, and its name is." And then the ship blows up, and you're like, "What's his name?" But then the credits pop up Gamera on there. So Gamera takes him out really quickly at the very beginning. So they send another ship, and the next ship comes, and then they try to take over the planet, but they got to stop Gamera first, and they realize they can't stop Gamera. Well, they try to lock him in a bubble. We'll get to that bubble thing in a minute because that bubble thing really pisses me off. So they lock him in a bubble underneath the water because he's down there piping around with the Kinnies. Like they're in their sub, and he's swimming around, and they're just having a heyday underwater. And then, boom, the Viras people trap him in an underwater bubble. All of them, the Kinnies and Gamera. But the Kinnies are running out of air, and they're like, Gamera, you got to save us. And so he just picks the bubble up and lets him go.
But he's still trapped.
Anyway, yeah, still trapped. So, they end up, shooting a device in the back of his neck and mind controlling. And so he starts attacking everything. And they're like, we got to stop him. So it's up to the Kinnies. The Kinnies are now kidnapped, or space-napped, whatever, and they're on the spaceship with the Viras aliens, and they outwit them because, the Kinnies are super smart, and they break the mind control device, and then the main commander, Squidward, uses the rest of the human-looking Squidwards to become a giant Squidward, and then Squidward fights Gamera, and it's lackluster to say the least. And Gamera, of course, wins. Not before being completely impaled at one point by Viras or Squidward. This got some brutal moments, I will say. And that's it. So, and that's pretty much the storyline for the rest of the movies from here on out. Like, the next one's pretty much the same. Gamera versus Jiger is going to be a little different, but then Gamera versus Igra is going to go right back to this alien plot. It doesn't change. So, yeah, let's jump into it. Ruben, you said you had some interesting things, and it's been a minute since you've gone first. What did you think of the fantastic Gamera versus Squidward movie?
Oh, okay. So let me start off on a positive note. I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I was. Not a whole bunch more, but let's just put it this way. I went in with very low expectations and came out like, well, it's bad, but, you know, I did fall asleep for the final fight and had to rewind and rewatch because I feel, you know, I mean, I'm going to have to admit that I was watching it. It was a Saturday afternoon. I think I texted you guys and I said I was enjoying an adult beverage while watching this and I fell asleep. And I woke up and it was over, you know. And I'm like, what happened?
That's like,
I had to
crap.
rewind it and watch it again.
That sucks. Like,
So,
man, that was
yeah, like,
bad.
well, let me rewind it. And I
twice.
only missed I had only fell asleep for I thought I missed a lot, but I didn't miss that much. So,
Those dang adult
other than that,
beverages.
I thought it was
Screwed you on
I
this
thought it
one, that's
was-
for sure.
yeah, it was pretty. I'm like, man, good thing I had the adult beverage because it helped out. Which, by the way, this was the first time me trying lemonade with some Irish whiskey, and it was quite good. I never
So,
tried
on the next
anything that was
Gamera
gonna
movie,
be- Hey, this is not bad.
We know it's better than this film, at the least.
Yeah. So I'm like, well, I read online, a lemonade and Irish whiskey. I said, I wonder if that goes together. And I'm like, yeah, it does. It was good. Anyway, that was the highlight of the movie. Thanks to the alcohol, I was able to enjoy it.
I could see it.
Other than
Hold on,
that-
I can see it now. Ruben's sitting in his chair and he's like, I'm gonna try out this lemonade and Irish whiskey, okay? So Irish whiskey has got a kick to it. Lemonade, lemonade sucks, but in my opinion. But so I can imagine him going, okay, so I'm gonna pour a glass, I've got like 3/4 lemonade, a shot of whiskey, and he gets through the first 10 minutes of the movie, and he's like, it's not enough whiskey. Let me fix this. And halfway through the movie, there's this much lemonade, that much whiskey, and then he passes out, and he's like, it was much better that way.
Much better that way. Yep, that was it. So, but it was. What went through this? I'm going to tell you what went through this whole movie. We were just talking about it. Is how can Sludge be so hard on Godzilla's Revenge, right? And to me, this is like Godzilla's Revenge times 2, because at least Godzilla's Revenge had multiple monsters. They weren't
Wait.
active.
There was technically multiple monsters if you include the absurd amount of stock footage in this movie.
Well, you see, there was a lot
three.
of. Yeah, well, that's true, but all you did is watch the last 2 movies.
the
the best part of the last 2 movies.
Yeah.
And they said, well, you know what? We'll just give you what seemed like 20 minutes. of stock
Like you
footage.
literally watched the entire Gamera versus Bruggen fight, like all over again. You watched the whole
all
thing.
over again. Like I'm watching this whole thing over again, and that's the best part of the movie. That's the sad part.
It
The
is,
stock
yeah.
footage is the best part of the movie.
There's
So,
no argument
so
there.
the whole time, like, how is Godzilla's Revenge so much lower than this one? And I can only assume that there's some bias there.
Well, now
So-
I will say, all right, these don't rank much higher. Actually, I mean, what I give Godzilla's Revenge? I gave Godzilla's Revenge like a 2 or 1.5. I think.
I think
Right?
you gave it like a 1 or 1.5 at
One
the
and a half,
most.
so it's
Yeah.
down there. Yeah, it's
down
not
there.
far, but again,
But
the silver guy.
it was all right. I thought it was kind of silly with them kids. Like, when they said, "Oh, we'll just reverse the battery." The battery,
the
negative,
polarity
put
on it or something like that.
The
Yeah.
polarity's on it. We'll just reverse the polarity. And I'm like, yeah, because everybody knows that if your car can't go in reverse, just change your batteries around, your battery around, and
Right,
your car will go in reverse just fine, and
Yeah.
just so you can get home and then switch it back and drive on home.
Yeah, not only was Daiei's special effects budget lower, their science budget was lower than Toho's at this point.
Yeah, it was. So I thought I thought it was funny that they were like, well, with everything in the news nowadays, they let 2 kids go down into sub by themselves. Just go down there, in this little tiny mini sub.
Yeah, because they were like Japanese Kenny, because I don't remember their names, so they're both Kenny. Okay, American Kenny, Japanese. Yeah. Japanese Kenny makes that little like radio frequency cell phone on his wrist that even works in outer space.
This is Marcel. Go on.
Marcel, is it you?
Mariko?
Thank heaven. Are you all right?
Yes, Jim and I are okay. How's he?
How did he manage
That's right.
They're like, he can do that. He can drive us up. Whatever,
Yeah. So and I thought it was funny. The scientist goes, well, if he can do that, yeah, go ahead. Go ahead and give it a shot, guys.
Yeah.
Take the sub. Go ahead. And then, and they were like, oh, nobody can, there's something wrong with it. These two scientists couldn't figure out by just turning around, because the battery somehow was in the same compartment that you're driving, that you're steering, and I'm like, somehow it was right. And you have a red and a black, because I think they were even color coded.
They were.
I remember correctly. Yeah, they were color coded. They couldn't just say, hey, look, the battery's backwards. Let me turn that around. Then they go up, and the same tech, apparently, the aliens use this, even though they're highly advanced, use the same exact technology, because those two kids mess them up by switching the polarity on their batteries in their spaceship. And I'm like, what the heck is going on here? And then they go, then they go to another level, and they do the same thing. On the Gamera control, when the Gamera, they had the, that little deal on Gamera. They go, we'll just reverse it. And then Gamera will do the opposite. And sure enough, Gamera does the opposite. I'm like, this is crazy.
Well, I like to know
is definitely
how.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry to interrupt. I mean, the Kenny's got the orange juice.
Oh, that's right.
You know what I mean? Like, they're in an alien spaceship, and I want orange juice, and then bam, there's orange juice.
I want an apple with a knife. I want an apple with a knife.
It's like, anyway,
sorry. I like it. The plan is, I'll ask for an apple, and they'll have to give us a knife. We ask for it, and then it comes out sliced already. I'm like, oh, this is awesome. And he wanted a cheese sandwich or whatever. The sandwich came out, and then something happened, right? And went away. He goes, I should have asked for more sandwiches. And I thought that's what made it kind of funny. I said, man, this is just hilarious. You're just watching it, and it's just hilarious. But I will say that, I always talk about, well, there's movies that your kids would be interested, like you could introduce your kids. I would not introduce my kids to Gamera with this movie. I just would not. No. I'm like, oh, you know what? I'm going to show them this one. No, this is not this one. This one, because even I will say, even Godzilla's Revenge, like for real little kids, it has some appeal. But this one, just like every other Gamera so far, it's kind of like there's a lot of story and there's not enough Gamera to me in these movies so far.
Yeah.
There's just not. I want to, so if you want to keep a kid's attention, you got to pump up those numbers and get some more monsters in there, and it would have been cool if there would have been a little bit more of that, even though we did have stock footage. You're right. But it's still not a movie that the first two, either one of the first two, I think, would be good. The second one actually is the one I would recommend. So far.
Barugan.
The ones we want. Barugan is the one I would recommend. But, so to me, it's hard to find saving grace in this one because, it's not fair. Their budget was cut. They had to use stock footage. They had, obviously whoever wrote the story. I think they were trying to connect with children, but I think they dumbed it down too much. Cause I think even kids would say, this is ridiculous, and another thing, I didn't know Japan had Boy Scouts is, if they really do.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they actually had Boy Scouts.
I didn't even know that. I was kind of like, hey, there's Boy Scouts. And I didn't know that. So, but I just thought it was pretty cool. I mean, it is what it is. Would I throw it in on a Saturday afternoon? Probably not again.
No,
it'd be straight Irish whiskey.
I'm going to pass on that. Yeah. I gave it my obligatory watch and for the show. And so to me, it's kind of like I was watching. I was like, did I lose it's like I lost the challenge. Like I'm watching this movie here. Did I lose the challenge? I'm not having to watch this. Yeah, did I lose the challenge, man? What happened here? But
and that was
it's a kaiju movie and it's Gamera, so you have to take the good with the bad. And thank goodness, coming here in 3 or 4 movies, which we already covered, Gamera gets really great, and hopefully this new anime will prove us wrong. Although Netflix doesn't have a good track record with anime as far as I'm concerned.
Man,
so.
except for Ultraman, you watch Ultraman, dude. Ultraman's the bomb on.
I haven't watched it. I need to watch that, but I hadn't watched that yet. But so far, I'm like, man, I watched, and I'm hoping not to be disappointed. But I'll pass it on to one of you guys now. I'm done.
Mark,
well, man, he's pretty spot on, man. Everything he was talking about. I mean, this is definitely a children's movie, as children as you can probably get for monster movies.
Yeah,
and one of the things that I was looking at and what Ruben was talking about the stock footage. I think that's most of the fighting that went on in this movie. Viras is how you say it.
Yeah.
Well, they fought about 5 minutes, maybe.
Oh,
maybe
yeah.
5 minutes.
I think it's like 7 minutes total.
And so I mean, to me, the name doesn't even go with it. I mean, it's just let's throw this here at the end as we watch these 2 kids in a submarine race Gamera underwater.
Speed up!
Because that was the big exciting point of the movie.
That was pretty much, and he's slow down, speed up, slow down, and it's just a terrible movie, and you just can't, I did it with nothing. I think I had a cup of coffee, and I was dying. Man. I was like, oh, I got to get through this. But it does have its little funny parts, little quirky parts, and I thought at first maybe the way it starts out, where Gamera, attacks the aliens at the very beginning, I thought, well, this may come around, and it bombed. It just it shot flat. I mean, it just took a dive down, and I'm not gonna watch this anymore. I'm done with that. So I am good.
Man, this one, gosh, I mean, I forewarned you guys. Like I told you all the last one, it's going to go downhill quick.
That was a cliff, man. That was straight right off. There wasn't no downhill to it. It was. Right down.
There's going to be, I don't want to say a movie that's going to go uphill a little bit, but there's going to be moments where we'll get a little uphill, reprieve, but not much. This one, man, like, if they'd done what I said they should have done in House of 1,000 Corpses, this movie would have been awesome. Okay, so like if you remember House of 1,000 Corpses and in that opening scene where they go to the gas station with Captain Spaulding, and then and of course they're spoiler alert, there's a lot of language. You got these 2 dudes come in and they try to rob Captain Spaulding's store. They don't realize who Captain Spaulding is, and these dudes get jacked and murdered. There's that dialogue between the Captain Spaulding. He's like, I can't repeat it, you know what I mean? But like, it's so intense, that opening sequence. And then he shoots the guy, and then boom, credits, or like the movie title pops up. Yeah. If they'd have ended House of the 1,000 Corpses right then and there, I would have been so satisfied. Like 10 minutes, my money well spent. I didn't need the rest of the garbage that came afterwards. That's what this movie was. If I'd have had they're like, oh, we're coming to destroy Earth. Gamera blows them up right as they're like, and his name is, and then you see Gamera, and then you see credits. And you're like, oh, please let these be the end credits.
Yeah, this is it.
They would have been fantastic. But no, they weren't end credits. They were unfortunately beginning credits. And you had an hour and 20 minutes of what is going on. There's some funny moments in it with the Kinneys. They're absolutely absurd and just truly ridiculous. But damn, man, these movies get so bad. There's not the only redeeming quality is I just like the way Gamera looks. I like the fact that there's a fire-breathing turtle. And that's about it. Like for this one, again, the underwater bubble, like when they trap him in the bubble, and he just literally just picks, like it's supposed to be a ray, or it looked like it was a ray, and they're like, dude, Gamera, we're running out of breath, and oxygen, we got to get out of here, and he's just like, whoop, and he picks it up and lets him out, and then just lets it go again. I'm like, why don't you just pick it up the rest of the way and just get out of there? It's like, but no.
Well, and the fact that the kids are looking at him, they're underwater, they're in a sub, and it's like, Gamera, we're running out of air. And he's like, everything they say, he understands every bit of it.
Oh yeah.
To take care of it. Just crazy.
He's just like, dude, I got you, fam. And then they bolt and leave him. Like, I'm you jerks. They're like, oh, Gamera, you're the best. Save us. All right, see you, dude. It's like, you're screwed, but whatever. There's just too much. I mean, there are the moments, like, I remember watching it the first time I watched this as a teenager. I was not expecting the scene when Viras is like, okay, I need, everybody to kind of fuse with him to become a giant version of himself. And the way he does that is by chopping their heads off.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I was not expecting that at all. It's just like they're all standing in front of him, and he's just like, and the heads just go flying. I'm like, whoa, this is for kids.
It was crazy.
So there was the moments like that. Seeing Gamera get speared by Viras was, and then him fly off into space to freeze him, and then he falls and presumably explodes when he hits the water. That was, I'm like, dude, you're a boss. Like, he's stabbed through you, and you're flying to beat him. Like, that's pretty boss. But other than that moment, that last fight scene, or the only fight scene, I should say, was so lackluster. Like, I will say, thankfully, at least for the next two films, they did kind of correct their mistake there. I will say that much. Like, they did realize this fight scene sucked, because it really, really did.
Yes.
It was so bad. But they were given a little bit more money for budget for the next film. So I don't know how much good to say about this one. It's just probably my second least favorite film of the Showa era by far. There is one that I do think is significantly worse than this, and significantly worse than this. This would be like a blockbuster compared to one more that's coming. But the other, there's still some moments in the other two. This one, man, like, I can't even. It's Stompdown rating time. Okay, so this one, man, we haven't given a lot of low barrel ratings here, but this was pretty unanimous. We gave this one a collective 2.
Yes.
And honestly, I don't know why 100% why you guys gave it a 2. I gave it a 2 only because I know what's coming, and I know there's going to be some worse and some slightly better. So I had to find a middle ground for this, if that tells you anything. So, I mean, that's why I gave it a 2. We all gave it a 2, but do I
I think we were being nice and friendly by giving it a 2. Maybe the Kenneys made it a 2. That was about it. So,
I mean, with this one, would I recommend it, or would we recommend this as like Ruben said on a Saturday? No, it's not a Saturday watch. This would be one of the ones that I would say, and you guys let me know if I'm wrong here, would be for the Gamera fans that are the completionists, the ones that's like, okay, I'm a fan. I got to see everything. You got to take one of you guys said a minute ago, the good with the bad. Just like we harp on Zilla in '98, but I harp on Godzilla's Revenge. We do, if we're true fans of these creatures or of these characters, we have to take the good with the bad. And this is definitely that scenario. There is, I will say, one more worse. The next two, I will try and give you guys some cushion room. They are a little more entertaining than this film, so they're a little bit better. But there is one coming that is worse, unfortunately. But we do have to take the good with the bad on this one, and I have nothing else to say about this movie whatsoever.
That's where we're at. I'm good.
Ruben?
No, I will say, I think a lot of it has to do with our favorite monsters when they make them good guys, or a wrestling term, they become babyface. I think that takes away from the kaiju, no matter what kaiju you're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, it happened to Godzilla, happened to Gamera. I'm with you there.
And I think you want the old Godzilla back. Now, it's fine if they're fighting for the planet Earth, but it becomes a little ridiculous when they're with the kids and they're trying to make friends with the kids are talking to them, and Godzilla's a good example. I mean, he started off as just tearing everything up. He was a true monster. Then he defended Earth, but he was still a monster. He still, stuff was still destroyed. And then when they went to Godzilla's Revenge and Son of Godzilla a little bit, then it gets, and the same thing happened to Gamera. So I think what it is for us fans that watch completionists, I think we don't like most of the time. I would, and maybe you guys don't agree, but when you make a kaiju that friendly, you're gonna lose a fan base for a little bit, and it doesn't make the movie any
I agree. I agree.
I
I
agree.
think it's
no matter what age you are, because even if I was 10-year-olds, I wouldn't like this film.
You know,
10-year-old Ruben.
I think
would
it's
not
interesting
like this
that when you look at Shusuke Kaneko's trilogy in the '90s, he went the complete polar opposite direction.
Yes.
Of this. So
Yeah.
Gamera, the first film, he saves the kid, on the bridge from Gauss.
Yeah.
And so he's got a connection with mankind. By the third film, he's blowing people up and not giving a crap. You know what I mean? So he went the complete opposite direction.
And that's a
where these films
perfect
went.
example. Yeah, that's a perfect example because those are the best Gamera films I've ever, all the ones that I've seen, man, and they're just great. I love them, and it's not because they were made. It's not just the special effects. It's not just, everything was better on it, but it was just a better told story. And it put Gamera as a kaiju that's to be reckoned with. And on these little ones, it's kind of like, he's not much because he's so friendly. So you think you hit the nail right on the head. In the 90s Gamera, you have Gamera, and I wouldn't say he's not bad. He's not good either. He's just defending Earth or whatever it is. So it works out better that way. That's
Right,
how,
exactly.
Godzilla 2014. Okay. Godzilla 2014. He doesn't come across as a hero, even though he is the hero of the movie, but he doesn't come across that way till he fights the Mutos.
Right.
And then he's fighting the Mutos. He's not really attacking mankind or some, and of course it's insinuated that he's here to protect us. But the movie was made in such a way that kaiju fans say, well, he's not really a bad guy, but he's not a good guy either. So
They did that. They did extremely well with the Gamera films in the 90s. So.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it's now time. Again, Gamera vs. Viras. Skip it if you want. We ain't going to make you watch it. But if you're a completionist, definitely check it out. And, man, it's time for everyone's favorite part. It's time to test your might.
Test your might. Test your might. Test your might. Test your might. Test your might.
All right, so, and there we go. It is time to test your might. And again, we've got the awesome Kurt Harper stepping in on trivia. Kurt,
Yes,
thank
Kurt.
you so much for that. Charlie has been busy with a lot of work and stuff, so Kurt has jumped in and helped us with the trivia section and done a fantastic job. So here we go. Oh wait, I forgot. Mark, Lorax, Piranha 2.
Couldn't tell you.
Yeah, well,
Couldn't tell you. I went to the Plex to watch it and wasn't there. And so I text Sludge.
I could have swore it was on Tubi or something.
Well, I even looked on Tubi. Be honest with you, I did.
huh?
I did.
Wow.
And it's because I did try to watch it. Amazon's where I found it, but I don't have Amazon, so But I texted Sludge, and Sludge is like, yeah, I forgot. That movie's so bad. I deleted it off. And so I didn't have it. I didn't watch it.
So Mark gets a pass on this one because yes, that is on me. I hadn't watched it in a long time. We talked about it on the last episode how bad it was. It's that bad. I remember watching it, and I didn't even finish the whole film. The last time I watched it, I'm like, God, this is really wasting hard drive space. It's got to go.
Well, you know, I had even thought about, hey, I did lose it. Maybe I just should watch Piranha 3 Double D, but I passed on it. Yeah, I said,
I don't know that the mail girl would appreciate that one by any means. So,
hey, but you can tell it's for the show. It's for the show. I have to watch it.
Yeah, like I'm not watching it for the nudity. I am watching it for Ving Rhames'
I'm not watching it for the
shotgun
double
legs.
D.
There we go.
It's
That's
the shotgun
it.
legs. That's why. So Mark gets a pass on it for that one because it is my fault. I did delete it off of my media server because it's not worthy of being on there. It is that bad of a film. And I have Son of Kong on there, if that tells you anything.
Wow.
Yeah, so,
wow.
All right, so let's jump into the trivia for Gamera versus Viras, again from Kurt. And here we go. Question number 1. When American International Television released an English dubbed version in 1970, I gave you guys this answer, I can already tell. What was it called? A, Destroy All Planets, B, The Planet Destroyers, or C, Monsters Destroy That Planet? Kind of wish it was C. That would at least be a little quirky like the movie. Do you guys need any other time on that one?
No, you go right ahead.
You gave us the answer on that one.
I did. Oh, gosh. Okay. Number 2. What do the aliens use to capture Gamera? A big net, B, a brainwave device, or C, a super catch ray? When you get the answer to this one, you're going to realize how bad this movie is.
Yeah.
3. According to the aliens, what is Gamera's biggest weakness? A, calamari, B, turtle wax, or C, his love for children?
I tell you what, this is like those.
Kurt,
maybe you guys never had to do this, but I had to work like in refinery. There's a lot of refineries down here, and one of my jobs required me to go into refineries. So they say, well, you have to go to safety training, right? So you sit there and you watch these videos, and then you have to take a test, right? And there's 2 ridiculous answers, and then there's one that makes sense. And then you take the test. I'm like, man, this is like that, I think.
Oh, it is. Well, even I got to the bottom of the questions, and we'll get the answers in a second. And Kurt had actually added to this, and he said, there is no way to take this movie or its trivia at all serious. Turtle power. So, all right. Let's, you guys should have gotten this one 100%. Yeah. Number 1. I forgot to tell them the format. So, I already know the answers. I'll just tell you. So, number 1, when American International Television released an English dubbed version in 1970, what was it called? The correct answer is Destroy All Planets, which is A. Number 2, what do the aliens use to capture Gamera? A big net, a brainwave device, or a super catch ray? Answer is C, a super catch ray. And that is what they call it in the movie.
Super catch
ray.
Catch ray.
Because they were up on their science. Number 3, it's like almost like they talked to Fauci. I didn't mean to drop that. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to drop that in there. We keep the show clean.
You can do that.
And now back to your regularly scheduled program.
According to the aliens, what is Gamera's biggest weakness? A, calamari, B, turtle wax, or C, his love for children? C, his love for children. Please, for the love of God, tell me none of you all watched or got any of those wrong. Nope.
I got them all right, yeah.
Got them all right. So we all
won.
What are we going to do? I don't think we need to make Kurt watch a movie. I know we did that to Charlie once.
Oh, yeah.
Because Kurt is definitely helping us out. So, man, for this one, I don't know, man. We all won this one. This was pretty simple. Yeah. There we go. So, all right, we'll just move right along because I got nothing for this one, man. I mean, like Kurt said, there's no way to take this movie or the trivia serious at all because.
But for everybody out there that watching or listening, there was threats thrown out on our message thread about he was going to talk to Pete about getting real bad movies for either me or Mark.
Yeah,
I did.
Did you talk to Pete?
No, I didn't talk to Pete, actually.
Oh, okay.
I have not talked to Pete. Pete, you can verify and let them know. I never did reach out to you about a movie. I did talk about having to find a movie that was the worst of the worst, and I've got some bad ones.
But it was well-deserved from what I hear.
It was well-deserved.
It was very... There was some taunting going on. And
well, yes, there was, and things get a little rough behind the scenes at the Monster Movie Stompdown.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, lies, Mr. Red Carpet. So,
oh man,
what?
No, I didn't get no red carpet.
I told you I was not bringing you no red carpet. Anyways, like I said.
Green grass with dog poops. What I had to walk through.
Well, okay. You'll get your red carpet, with your G98 figure.
Oh, okay.
What's going to happen? So
there it goes.
All right, guys. Thank you all so much for hanging with us for Gamera versus Viras. I promise a couple more of these Gamera films are going to be a little bit better. One, unfortunately, is going to be way worse, and that's going to be a hilarious one to cover. I cannot wait to hear what these guys have got to say about it. So, all right. So we've got some good shows, more good shows coming up here soon. The next episode we are going back to TV. And like we talked about before, if we're going to jump into a TV episode for, like, let's say X-Files, which has 9 seasons, or no, they got 11 seasons now with those 2 renewed ones or whatever?
Yep.
So,
Yep,
anyways,
I believe,
or
yeah.
Twilight Zone, shows that have hundreds of episodes. We're going to review one particular episode, like we've done previously, with like X-Files and things like that. But if it's a show, kind of like Stranger Things, that is a short run of 8 to 10 episodes, we're going to do an episode about that entire run. That little season. So the next episode, we're doing just that, and we are breaking out into our first technical tokusatsu film or show, and we're doing Kamen Rider Black Sun, which came out last year for the 50th anniversary of Kamen Rider Black. Kamen Rider is actually where it all began when it comes to tokusatsu heroes and henshin. You think of Power Rangers, Beetleborgs, VR Troopers, even Ultraman. Kamen Rider predates all those, and that's where it all began. And Kamen Rider Black Sun, I thought, was a great way to introduce the fellas into Kamen Rider. Might be setting the bar a little high with this one, but it's fantastic, and it's a short run, so we've got 10 episodes that we'll be discussing on the next episode. So if you guys get a chance, it is on Amazon Prime. It did premiere on there exclusively. If y'all would like to go check out Kamen Rider Black Sun before the next episode, do that. I highly recommend it. Don't, recommend it so much for the young ones. Not that it's bad, it's just it can get a little violent. But that's the next episode. Our next Gamera film is Gamera vs. Giron, the knife-headed dinosaur, which will be an interesting film to see. And then we have a special guest coming in August as well, because on August we're doing Gamera vs. Giron, the second movie in August. Gavin, my son, will be joining us. He's been begging for months to do so, and we showed the movie earlier during hard copy. We will be doing Mega Monster Battle Ultra Galaxy.
Hey, the 9-year-old Ultraman expert.
The dude
We'll
definitely knows his Ultraman stuff,
yeah.
for sure.
Yep,
He's huge fan. Actually, this movie that we're covering, Mega Monster Battle Ultra Galaxy, we talked about. We went to the movie theaters for his birthday and watched it. So he's a big fan of it. It's the one he picked, and excited to actually officially jump into Ultraman. And there's just no better way to do it than without Gavin, because
gotta have him.
Yep, as the Lorax has passed Godzilla to me, I have passed Ultraman to Gavin. So it's gonna be super awesome. So
that works.
Anything else you guys want to say?
I'm good.
Ruben?
I'm good. I'm good over here in Texas.
Awesome. Well, man, again, guys, thank y'all so much for watching the shows. Please go join us on Facebook. Join the Facebook group and follow us on Instagram, because not only do you get these shows from us every 2 weeks, you get additional content every week. Mondays, we do the Underdogs, where we bring to you some more unknown or unseen monster films that are quite enjoyable. Wednesdays, the Grandmaster rocks our socks off with some awesome music that's tied in some way to monster films or monster-themed things. And then Fridays, of course, we duke out movies of who would win in a wrestling match with the Friday night fights. And then we talk to each other all the time, man. Everybody's posting things about new figures, new movies, new whatever, or new finds, and we're a cool little group of people, and it's become a family thing, and we love it. So join us on there, become part of the Monster Movie Stompdown crew, and also go check out all of our friends' shows, man. Give me back my action movies, give me back my horror movies, give me back my pro wrestling. Pete and the crew over at Good Beer Bad Movie Night, they're great shows, fantastic shows. You will enjoy all of those. And again, we thank you all so much. This is Sludge.
And the Lorax.
And you got Ruben in Texas.
Y'all have a good night.
Good night.